Welcome back to the Kimchi Redneck's kitchen. So today, Chuck, we are cooking a real southern meal. Our kitchen has been very busy all day, which means it's super hot in here. So Chuck has put together our meat. What did you fix us for meat?
Some good old oven barbecue.
Yeah.
Some vinegar and pepper-based barbecue.
Super excited about that. We've got our butter beans with the bacon and the butter and the salt and pepper all kind of simmering down here. It's going to be excellent. And then for the side, we are making what, for me, growing up, was something I only got at Christmas and Thanksgiving. Chuck's family got it a little more often because Chuck's dad is a huge fan of it. I am making corn pudding. Some people will call this a corn casserole, but the recipes I've seen for corn casserole seem to be like a cornbread with corn in it, and that's not what this is. Corn pudding is basically like an egg custard with creamed corn in it. Is that what you would say, Chuck?
Yeah, more of a creamed corn custard, yeah.
It's almost like a dessert. It's fabulous. It's one of my favorite. I looked forward to it every year at Thanksgiving and Christmas. And literally when Chuck and I started hanging out and Chuck's mom started fixing it with barbecue, I was like, oh, damn, I missed out. So I don't miss out anymore. So this is my mom's recipe, I believe, but I think it's very similar to Chuck's mom's recipe. But this is a recipe I've been making for a very long time. So we're going to make that today.
And in a way, it's almost Korean, because Koreans like sweet corn.
I think Koreans would love it.
They generally do roasted sweet corn on the cob, though.
Yeah,
so.
I think they would love it. All right, so things that you will need. You will need a 15-ounce can of creamed corn. You also need a 15-ounce can of regular corn. I picked up golden white just because that's what was there, but whole kernel sweet corn, and you will drain, which is why my little drainer here is on it. We'll drain all the liquid out of that.
You mean that's not just a hat?
No, it's not the hat. You're going to need 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk. You're going to need vanilla. Now, this is a tip I picked up from Chuck's mom, which makes all of my desserts amazing. It's butter vanilla, and butter vanilla is awesome. So I use butter vanilla instead of straight vanilla now. You're going to need nutmeg. You're going to need sugar, 6 eggs, because it's a very eggy thing, and flour. That's everything. So let's get started and get it put together. So we'll start with 3/4 cup of sugar. We're going to do our dries together first. Then we've got 2.5 tablespoons of flour, which this is a 1.5 tablespoon. I'm going to swap out for my 1 tablespoon and make my life easy. And then you're going to want to put your nutmeg. Go ahead and put that in with it. So I don't really know where corn pudding came from, like who started making corn pudding. I don't know if that was like a Virginia thing or South Carolina thing. Your mom grew up in South Carolina, right? Mostly?
Mostly, I think so.
Yeah. So I'm from Virginia. Chuck's family's from South Carolina, but we both made corn pudding. I did know someone from Tennessee, whose family's from Tennessee. They had no idea what it was, and they did not appreciate the finer taste of corn pudding. That was unfortunate for them. All right, so I have lightly mixed the flour, sugar, and nutmeg together. Now we're going to add our eggs in. I have all 6 of them in a bowl, but I'm going to beat them a little bit before I put them in. Show 'em who's boss. Add those in. Then we're also going to put our condensed milk and vanilla in. This literally goes together really quick. You want to set your oven at 350. It's going to cook for about an hour. So go ahead and get it set. Mine's already set. It's actually ready to go. And you'll spray your pan. I'm using a 13 by 9. You'll spray that with Pam so that everything doesn't stick. Make sure I get all of that sweetened condensed milk out. And then we're going to mix that together, and then I'll add my vanilla. So at this point, what we've got, once I add the vanilla, is a custard. It's literally exactly what this ends up being. It's just a custard with lots of corn added. My sister makes a version, which is excellent, that has, I don't remember if she uses cream corn or not, but I think she uses frozen corn, and hers is really good. I never did master her setup though.
We might want to try this one time though with the Korean sweet corn.
Maybe.
That might be interesting.
I'm gonna get my butter melted. Forgot about that. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter back here. That gets drizzled on top. And then we're gonna do a tablespoon of vanilla. And literally at this point, all I'm trying to do is make sure that I've got all of my sugar and flour incorporated. All right, so then I'm gonna start with my drained corn. I just dump the can in basically. And make sure I get all the corn out of it. And then we'll stick our cream style corn in there. Now Chuck is not as big a fan of this as I am, but he doesn't hate it, and that's good for me. Your dad is the huge fan of this.
Oh yeah, my dad loves this stuff.
Your dad gets sad if I tell him I made it and he didn't get any. All right. In fact, Chuck will probably send his dad a picture of it later. All right, so that's what it's gonna look like. We are going to pour it into our already greased pan. This, by the way, does a really excellent job in the, if you've got cast iron. I've made it in my enameled cast iron before, and it was beautiful. So there we've got that.
It's really good when you get that nice crispy around the edge.
It was one of the prettiest ones I think I've ever made, wasn't it?
Probably.
All right, so then my butter here. And at this point, we're just drizzling 2 tablespoons of butter over the top. Try and do this kind of slow and even. Right. And that's literally how quick that comes together. So now, because our oven is a little bit psychopathic, I'm gonna put a little bit of aluminum foil on it so it doesn't burn the top of it. So I'll put that aluminum foil on. It'll be on there for probably about 30 minutes and I'll pull it off. And then it will cook without it. But I don't want it to burn my top, and ours will cook a little too fast if we don't. So it goes in for an hour, and that's where we're headed.
So 30 minutes covered, 30 minutes uncovered?
For us, yes.
For us.
For most people, just uncovered.
1 hour later.
And by magic, we are now at the table with all this food
So
that you didn't see us cook.
We've got barbecue that we cooked earlier in the day. Thank you, slow cooking oven. Lima beans and bacon. We have made hush puppies. This is the first for us. We're trying it to see how well or not so well we did. And then corn pudding, star of this particular episode.
Yeah.
So we are going to
dig in.
Serve a little up. So it is a custard. It does roll. It's got a little bit of jiggle to it. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
You like jiggly, don't you? It's hot. It just came out, babe.
Don't burn yourself on the pot. That's what I was testing.
Oh, there's that crust you were talking about.
There's the crust around the outer edge if you get a good, like, enameled pan or... So, we are obviously going to eat more than that, but we're here to taste test.
And honestly, let me just go ahead and tell you this one ahead of time. Cold corn pudding, or day-old corn pudding, also still good. All right. I need to taste test this. It's still nuclear.
A little bit.
But still delicious.
Yeah. I know why this is served at Christmas, because it's got that
I might be a dessert, but I might be a veggie.
That too, but it's got that kind of cinnamony, nutmeggy thing, like if you drink eggnog, that eggnog flavoring.
Interestingly enough, Chuck, so I'm supposed to use nutmeg in this, but do you remember what I told you before we started? I'm out of nutmeg.
Yeah, but I wasn't telling them that.
So I used, instead of nutmeg, I used half cinnamon and half cloves, ground cloves, but it still tastes like nutmeg. So, if you're ever in a pinch, that works out. There's your baking tip for the day.
And you've got your sweet corn flavor to go with that, and your smooth, eggy, custardy consistency. This is good at any dinner.
Oh, and here's our tip for barbecue. Maurice's makes amazing barbecue sauces.
Yeah, you don't have to like their decor. Some people don't, but their barbecue sauces.
So his favorite is the Southern Gold.
I like the Carolina mustard.
And I'm more of a red sauce, so I like the hickory red.
The hickory red. I think that, what is that, a Tennessee style or
More of a Virginia, North Carolina.
Well, Virginia's the vinegar red barbecue. Is that one?
A little. It has a little bit of vinegar in it.
Okay, so Tennessee's more the sweet red barbecue.
Yeah. So.
At least if my barbecue geography is correct.
I kind of come from the Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina group. Are you smelling? You're smelling the hush puppies?
I smell everything I taste.
It smells like a hush puppy.
It's a little breadier than normal. Flavor's good though.
It's actually a good hush puppy. It would be a really good compliment to like a.
It's an open-faced barbecue hush puppy sandwich.
This man can make a sandwich out of anything. He's even made a soup sandwich.
I have successfully pulled that off. It's not easy.
I think it gave his father an aneurysm. One of many.
One of several at least, yeah.
So for me, I like hush puppies that have a little bit of sweetness. Like not a whole, it doesn't have to have a lot, but I like mine to have more of like the cornbready sweetness.
Yeah. I'm used to it having the more cornmeal style instead of corn mix.
And so the reason why I think it's that way is because the cornmeal that was available to me was not regular cornmeal.
Sometimes you got to work with what you got.
And that's what I did today. So next time we hopefully will have cornmeal, or Amazon it.
Amazon it probably. Get some stone ground cornmeal or something.
But
because everything's better when you grind it with stones.
Honestly, my dad would be proud of me for making hush puppies. Dad used to make hush puppies. His hush puppies were good. I don't know if they came from a mix. I don't know what they came from. I'm going to give him credit and say he made them. He maybe not, but I'm giving him credit. Going in for a nice cooler bite of this.
Yeah, still good.
Okay, this makes me happy. Let's eat.
Definitely try this if you like corn, or if you like custard, or if you just generally like sweet things.
One thing to note. So before you take it out, you want to make sure it's jiggly but not watery. So it still needs to have a little bit of jiggle like he showed you when it came out of the pan.
Yeah, Jell-O, not soup.
Yeah, we don't want soup. If it's soup, it needs a little bit longer to cook. And sometimes, depending upon how tall or what the size of your pan is, you may need to cook a little bit more than an hour.
But other than that, we're going to eat dinner. Y'all have fun. Like, subscribe, do the internet thing. Woo!